about making groups of 10s and 100s. Do you guys remember yesterday during our morning worksheet, that very first problem when you had to count how many blocks there were and then write down the number? We're going to do that and a bunch of other things today, okay? All right, so first we're going to look at, if I can find where to put it, we're going to look at this hundreds chart. Okay, you guys have seen one of these before, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was supposed to make you guys fill out this entire thing, but I figured we would just look at the patterns together instead. So, can anyone tell me a pattern that they've noticed when they've looked at one of these before? Like if we look just at this line right here. What's a pattern that we've looked at before? Mara?
I don't know if I've looked at this before.
Okay.
But at like each number, there's like 4 down it. Everything has 4 down.
So like this. So 4 and then 4, 4, all the way down. So what do you notice about the other number in this row? So if all of these numbers stay the same, what do you notice about the other number, this number?
They count from like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
Do they get bigger by 1 every time? So do you think it's just one single, or do you think it's getting bigger by a bigger number, Carson?
I think it's getting bigger by 1/10.
By 1/10, I love it. Okay, so if I were to go, what if I went to this row? Is it doing the same thing? Going up by 1 set of 10 instead of just one single? Okay, so we're going to work on these new boards that we haven't ever used before in this class. They're called math boards, and they are on the letter M back there. So I'm going to ask you by table to go get a math board, and then I'll show you exactly what we're going to do to use them, okay? So, orange table, will you please go get a math board? Okay, green table, will you go get a math board? Okay, blue table, will you go get a math board? And yellow table, go get it. It's hard to see me. Doesn't matter which one you get, just grab one. I'm getting a little crazy. Just grab one. Doesn't matter which one you grab. Okay, go to your seat. Okay. So I want everyone to turn to the side that has the grid on it, like this. And if yours doesn't have the side with the grid on it, go grab a different one. But I think everyone else's does. Okay, so now there's some dots all the way over to this side. And then you do this. Okay, does everyone see these dots? Does it kind of remind you of the hundreds chart we were just looking at? Okay, so what we're going to do is I want you to count the dots like this. You're going to draw a circle around them. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you get all the way to 10, you can go down or you can go across. It doesn't matter. When you get to 10, I want you to draw a rectangle around the row. And do that all the way down or all the way across. And then when you're finished, I want a big thumbs up. So we're counting to 10 with the dots all the way across. We'll just do one row at a time. Just do one row at a time. Okay, so when you've got one row of 10 circled and in a rectangle, big thumbs up. Just do one row. That's okay. Do you have your row in a oh my goodness, in a rectangle? That's okay. Because guess what? We're all practicing. You have it in a rectangle? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to label this as 1. Because this is one set of 10. So you're going to put a 1 right next to it. We have 10 singles, and then when we drew the rectangle around it, that made it one set of 10. Okay, and everyone has their one drawn. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, so now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to draw rectangles around the rest of the sets of 10. And you don't have to draw the circles this time, just draw the rectangles. And this is what we're going to call a quick 10. So if I ever ask you guys to draw a quick 10, it's just a rectangle. A really long rectangle. Yes, Gavin?
I accidentally lost my marker.
Okay, well, look for it. Thank you, Carson. Okay, so draw your quick 10 rectangle around the rest of the sets of 10. Draw your quick rectangles around the rest of your sets of 10. No, just one set of boxes. Alright, put your hands on top of your head if you've got all your sets of 10 in rectangles. If you need help, use your cups. Okay. No, just this.
I'm struggling now.
Thank you for using your words. Is there something I can do to help you? Is there something I can do to help? Okay, tell me what I can do to help you.
Well, I erased those instead of these.
Okay, why don't, because remember I asked you not to draw the circles, so why don't you get out your eraser?
I thought we were supposed to.
That's okay. Get out your eraser and erase those.
I could just restart.
So draw your rectangles along the rest of your sets of 10. There you go. Okay, does anyone have any ideas as to how many sets of 10 you just drew? Matt,
110.
how many sets of 10? I saw you writing it next to your rectangles. How many did you get to? So that's how many dots there are, right? But how many rectangles did you draw? 10. Okay. So what do you think 10 sets of 10 equals? Finn,
100.
why do you think that?
Because I know 5 plus 5 is 10, but if you just add more numbers into it, then it's 100.
You're right. If you add another 0 to the end of it, that makes it 100, right? Because if we drew all of these rectangles, did we have any dots left over
No.
that weren't in a rectangle? Okay, so if we have 10 tens and 0 extra dots, you put the 0 right there. So what happens if we have 11 tens? Anyone have any ideas? Harper? Do you think it'd be odd? So if we had 10 tens, what would happen if we had 11 tens? So if I drew one more whole set of tens, and drew one more rectangle, do we have any left over?
No.
So you're going to write a 0 in the ones place. Is that an even or an odd number? Do you think? Even. You're right. It is an even number. What if we had 12 tens? Finn?
It would be 1200.
You're close. So if we had 12 tens, would we have any leftover ones?
No.
No. So what number would it end up being, do you think? Do you see a pattern? Mara?
It'd be 120.
Good job. Okay. So now what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to write up a number that's less than 100. And on your boards, on the other side, if you erase this side, on the other side, there's a big kind of blank area. That's because you drew rectangles on all the dots instead of just 10 of them, but that's okay. But just erase that side and we'll flip it over.
Oh.
Okay, so we're going to practice writing just a few numbers to see if you guys understand how the rectangles with the 10, how the quick 10s work, okay? So I want you to draw with your quick 10s this number. 37. So think about it. With your quick 10s, those rectangles that we just drew make 37. Show me how you would make 37. Okay, remember, if you're struggling, use your cups if you have a question.
Okay, remember, we're going to use our quick 10 rectangles that we drew just a little bit ago. And show me how to make 37 in a drawing. Okay, so this is writing it as numbers. Can you draw with the rectangles 37? No, we're drawing a picture. Okay, Zainab, we're going to draw a picture, okay? So this is writing it, right? Okay, well that's the signal to use. I'm going to walk away and I'm going to practice that, okay? Practice it.
I know how to do it. I practice it.
Okay, well, I'm going to walk away and you do it the right way. Okay, you're doing a good job. So if this is 10, how many more do you need to get to 37? Good job. I like how you labeled what these numbers were. That really shows me that you know how much these were.
Okay, Miss Ainsley, I need your help. Will you show me your drawing up on the board? Good job. Okay, and then Mara, I kind of want your help too, because I like how you labeled yours. Okay, you can listen right now. So will you draw yours up there and then show me kind of bigger, a little bit bigger, and then show me how you labeled yours? Okay. Mara, will you explain how you drew this and labeled them?
I did because this is 10, then 20, then 30, and these are the ones, so then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Why aren't these ones in a rectangle?
Because they're not a 10.
You're right. Good job. Okay, thank you for showing me that. Okay, guys. So that was kind of a hard one. So now I'm going to give you an easier one. So erase your boards. Okay, this is going to be kind of a review, so we'll see. Okay, show me that in tens. You can use your quick tens.
Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be drawing with quick 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. Now what I, oh,
What's up? How many times are you 37?
okay. So how many tens are in 100? Everyone say it at one time. 10? 10? Are we all agreeing? There's 10. Okay. Okay. Erase your boards, and then we're going to go back to the other side again, because now we're going to talk about our quick 100. Okay, so does anyone remember how many dots we decided were in this square of dots? Raise your hands. How many dots did we decide were in this square? Xander.
What?
How many dots did we decide were in that square?
100?
Good job. Why did we say that there were 100 dots in that square?
Because there's 10?
How many tens are there?
100?
Huh?
100?
So, do you remember when we drew these rectangles?
Oh.
How many of those rectangles were in there?
Like rectangles.
Yeah. Do you remember how many rectangles are in there, or do you need some help from a friend? Okay. Why don't you call on a friend to help you?
Okay.
Quickly.
Matt. 10?
There were 10 tens, right. So, instead of having to draw these rectangles, 10 rectangles, every time you wanted to show that you have 100 of something, I'm going to make it really easy for you guys, okay? Instead of drawing 10 tens, give me a magic trick. You're going to draw, what shape is this? A square. So every time I see a square, when I ask you to draw me a number, I'm going to know it's 100. That's what makes it so quick. So every time I see a square, when I ask you, that equals 100. So you don't have to draw 10 tens anymore. Doesn't that make it so much easier? Yeah. Okay, so now, I'm going to give you a really hard problem. Do you think you can handle it? Think you can handle it? Okay, flip your boards back over. 137. Will you please draw me with your quick tens and your quick hundreds what 137 would look like?
So, show me how you would draw 137 using your quick 100, that trick I just showed you, and your quick tens. Because you have how many hundreds? Okay. Okay. And then how many tens do we have? Okay. So what shape do we use to draw our tens? Another rectangle. For our tens, we'll do a rectangle, right?
Xander, are you following directions?
Okay, you're supposed to flip this over. Okay, and we're drawing 137, because I just didn't flip mine over. You're going to draw 137 using the quick, bless you, using the quick 100 and the quick tens. So 137. So this is going to be your hundreds, tens, and ones. So you have 100. There you go. Okay, you're close. How many ones do you need? That's 137. How many ones are there?
Okay, Finn, will you go up to the board and show me your drawing? You can draw it pretty big, okay? And I'll move my paper so that everyone can see it better. Okay. There you go. Okay, why did you draw 3 rectangles?
That is the tens.
So there are 3 sets of 10 in 137? And why aren't those dots in a rectangle? I forgot.
Because those are the ones. In the ones place.
Good job. Okay. So does anyone have any questions as to why we draw a big square for 100? Mara.
Because drawing all of the 10 takes up a lot of time.
You're right, it does. And if you have a symbol that represents something, it makes things a lot easier sometimes. Okay. Now, let's try one more number. Erase your boards. This one's going to throw you off, I just know it. I think it will. What do you guys think? You think I'll be able to throw you off?
No.
242. Did I get you guys, or do you just know it?
I just know what. I just know it.
Miss Grace, you asked so nicely if you could give your example. Will you go up to the board and draw your example really big?
Oh, okay.
I forgot again. I just keep forgetting. Why do you have 4 lines right there? Close. Do you want to phone a friend for some help? Okay, you pick. Good job. So there's 4 groups of 10s. These are quick 10s. Was that the word you were looking for?
Yeah.
Quick 10s, yeah. Okay. So there's 4 groups of 10s. And why are there just 2 dots there?
Because there is 2 of these, and because there's 2.
So there's 2 singles left over. Good thinking. I like it. Okay, you can sit down. Thank you very much for your example. Should we do one more and get really tricky?
10 more. 10 more.
10 more. Oh my goodness, we don't have time for that one. Let's see.
No.
I have to use my bubblegum brain to think of a good number that'll really trick you guys this time. Because that one was too easy. 729. You might have to draw your squares a little bit smaller to fit all of your squares. Touch your elbows if you've got it. Okay. Who am I going to ask? Because I've got some really hard questions for you this time. Gavin, will you go draw your picture up on the board? Make it, yep, and make it big enough that everyone can see it.
I will.
Okay, that's a little big. Because you got to have room to draw all 7, right? There we go.
There's not a pen.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you some tough questions. Why can't I just put all 9 of those in a quick 10? I mean, it's close enough, right?
Right, but there has to be one more of them to be a quick 10.
Oh, I forgot that it had to be 10. Can you say that one more time so that I really remember it this time? Really loud, too.
You have to keep it in dots, but if you want it to make 10, you just have to put one more.
So there's only 9 dots, so I really can't make it a quick 10 because there's not 10 dots.
Well, you
I'd
can't.
have to add one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. So even though, this is a question for the whole class. So even though his quick 100s are different sizes, did you still know that they were quick 100s? Why did you know they were quick 100s? Yes, you can. Thank you. Why did you guys know that they were quick 100s even though they're different sizes? Mara?
Because they're not lines or dots.
You're right. And what do the lines or dots represent?
The lines represent tens and the dots represent
So, where in this number are the tens?
the two.
The 2 is the 10. And how many tens are in that 2?
2 tens.
Okay. So right above here, I'm going to write 10 plus 10. Right? Okay. So now we're going to work on something that might be kind of hard. I don't know. You guys seem to do pretty well with it, so it might not be super hard. But we're going to work on writing out this number in what's called expanded form. Can you say that? Expanded form. Should we start with an easier number, or can you guys handle this one?
I can handle a harder one.
Okay. So, how many 100s do we have? Who knows? Harper. 7. Okay. So, I'm going to write out 7 100s, right? Does that seem like a lot or a little? A lot? Okay. So, 100. Can you count with me so I can keep track of how many hundreds I'm writing down? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then how many tens did we decide I had? Math. 2. So let's count our tens. See? 1, 2. Okay, how many ones do I have? Carson? 9. Okay, are you gonna help me count again? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Do you guys think there's an easier way to write this than having to write all of those 100s? What do you think, Matt? Right, so instead of spreading it all out, we could just write each of the numbers broken up, right? So let's see. Okay, so how many hundreds do I have? 7. Okay. So if we have 7 hundreds, we're going to write 700 like this with the zeros. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Okay. And if I have 2 10s, how much does that equal? What's 10 plus 10? Finn?
20.
Perfect. Thank you for raising your hand. And if I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, what does it equal up here? How many did we add together? 9. Good job. So maybe instead of writing it out all like that, because that took me forever, I could write it like this. 700 plus 20 plus 9. See how fast that was? Much faster than when I wrote this, right? Yeah. Okay. This number is the exact same as this number, just all spread out. Okay. Ready? Everyone stand up. Put your lids on your markers and stand up. Alright, we're going to do some exercises. Okay, when I ask you to flash me a number, I want you to go like this. 10. And if it's 20, I want you to go 10, 20, okay? The number is 30. 10, 20, 30. What about 70? Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Why do you think I'm having you go like this? Grace.
Because you want us, you want us to do this because what do you mean?
So why do you think I'm not having you go like this when we count by tens? Or like this? Why am I having you go like this?
Because you don't want us to do it?
Kind of. Ella, why do you think?
Because it's tens and if you go like this, it's not, so it'll take you longer. Like this, it's shorter.
Because how many fingers do we have?
10.
10. So if we're counting by tens, and I want you to throw your tens at me when we count, we're going to use all 10 fingers, right? Because that's kind of like our rectangles, like our quick rectangles. So let's do one more. Okay, ready? And I'm not going to count this time. Let's do 50. Ready?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Okay, let's sit back down. Thank you guys for helping me. I was so confused. Okay, I have some secret cards. And I'm going to have a couple of you help me with these secret cards. They kind of resemble something like this when you take them apart, but they're kind of confusing to use sometimes. Xander, what do you need?
Nothing.
Okay. Where are my secret cards? Would be my next question. You guys, my secret cards are hiding from me. You guys see my secret cards? They're hiding. They're blue, and they've got numbers on them. Miss Olsen, have you seen my secret cards?
I have not seen the secret card.
We might have to do secret cards another day then. Yeah, I guess.
Such a secret.
No. Okay, well, we're gonna have to do secret cards another day. No. Thank you guys for helping me look, but the secret cards will have to wait till Monday. Okay, so let's do a few more practice problems with drawing our numbers out. And then I'm gonna have you write your numbers out, okay? Like this, like we just did here, okay? So let's draw a few more numbers. And then we'll write a few of our numbers. Okay. Ready? $154. Will you draw it with your quick 100s and your quick 10s?
Okay, are you drawing your quick 100 and your quick 10s? Is that how you're supposed to be drawing it? Or is it supposed to be a square and some rectangles or lines? Only a few more minutes. Can you draw that number that I have written up there for me? Thank you. Can you draw that number that I have written up there? 154. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, shake your hands, Butterhead, if you're ready. Then are you ready back there? Shake your hands, Butterhead, if you're ready. Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them. Okay. One more, and then I'm going to have you write out a number. Yay! Just to see. And we're going to practice this all next week, too.
Yay!
Well, that was a mixed review of
Happy and sadness. Okay. Ready? $287.
Wiggly hands, put your hands down.
If you're done, wiggly hands. All that extra energy out. Okay. Now I'm going to start with an easy number for you guys to write, and then we're going to do a 3-digit number like this, okay? We've only practiced this one time, so it might be kind of hard. Okay, so we're going to write this one out like we did that really big number. So if we're just going to do a 2-digit number with 10s and 1s, it's going to look like this. 20 plus 5. So write that on your boards. Write 25 as one number together, and then write it in expanded form. Can you say that one more time? Expanded form. Okay, let's try another one. 53. Okay, who can tell me what we're supposed to write for 53 in expanded form? Carson. Good job. And why do we write 50 plus 3? Do you remember? Okay. So remember, so he says we should write 50 plus 3. So we can look at it 2 ways. If we have 5 10s, plus 3 1s, right? Or we could write 10, the number 10, 5 times. But isn't this just so much faster? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you guys try one on your own, and then we're going to clean up. Okay. Why don't you pick a number, write it on the top of your board, and then you can write it in expanded form. Nothing over 200. I could see you plotting.
Can we do 200?
You can do 200.
Okay, but nothing above
Yeah. You pick a number, and then I want to see if you can write it in expanded form. Xander, nothing over 200. That's 2,000.
I'm just doing 2,000? Oh my.
And if we can't be serious, I'll just pick a number. What number you got there? Sure. Okay, now you're going to write it out in expanded form, and I'm going to call on one person to show me their expanded form.
Perfect.
Now remember, the expanded form is when we wrote 50 plus 3, not with our pictures. Yeah. Okay, just a few more seconds. Harper Henry, you can use your marker, I suppose. Will you go write that up on the board? Write this number and this. Perfect. Write it kind of big. Good job. Now, why did you write 10? really good answer. How many 10s are in 14?
1.
Good job. So, yeah. So if you want to draw a picture too, you can, to help explain your thinking. So she drew a picture. She drew one quick 10 because she says that there's one 10 in 14 and there's 4 ones. And I forgot again. Why are those dots and not a line?
Because it's the ones place and the ones. Because if someone looks at it, they would be confused. What one's like the ones
Yeah,
place
then
and
you
what
need to go
one's
down on
the
the line.
tens place?
Good job. Jake, do you want to come and write yours up on the board? Thank you very much, Harper. Okay, so why did you just write 50 there? What was your number that you wrote down? Okay, so were there any ones? There weren't any extra ones? Okay, so then how many 10s were there?
5.
Good job. So if there's no extra ones, there's no dots, right? So if there's no dots, then that's a 0 when you add it? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Okay, when I say the special phrase of the day, rainbow fish, I need you guys to erase your boards, make sure both sides are erased, put your markers into your little cubbies, and put your boards back on the M. Rainbow fish. Make sure both sides are erased. Grace, erase your board.